scenes. So we can open up, I just did file, open scene, and then I found the Osri rig. And this is what it looks like. Super cool character. Super cool character. Looks like some sort of, I don't know, like huntress from The Witcher or something. And we can animate straight on her like this, but that's not a good practice. Because if this is your rig file, this is basically the same as animating on your rig file. That's a big no. We don't do that, because in the industry, the tech department who sets up all the rigs, those are the people that I was talking about that take care of only the skinning. They don't look at anything else. The people that handle that are going to be making constant changes to these rigs and updating them throughout development. So we need to instead reference in that file. So whenever they make an update to their rig, we can just bring that into our scene, and then we'll be good to go. We'll just reference that in, and then every time we open up Maya, it'll look at that old file and be like, any changes? Let's bring those in. So it'll constantly update it for us. So while you could animate in this file, I don't recommend it. Instead, I want you guys to go to File, New Scene, don't save. And this goes for people that are doing their animating their own character. So go to File, and first step, we're going to save scene as. And I'm going to navigate to my course folder. And I'm going to go to Scenes. I'm going to do Final Film Animation. Right here. And this is going to be the last scene folder, or the scene file that we're ever going to work on, right? Because we're going to reference in our rig, and then animate it, and then render it from this very file. So this is the last one, guys. Of course, you're gonna have like final film animation 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 until it's done, because you should always save as. But this will be the last file. And then once you do that, we're gonna go to File, Reference Editor, and we're gonna go to File, Create Reference. Now, everyone should be doing this because everyone's going to be bringing in a character. Your rig doesn't have to be done, right, guys? Because like I said before, the tech department, the ones that are doing the skinning, if they can make changes to that skinning, and then it will carry over to this file that you have. So I'm going to close this and redo it just so you guys can see again. File, Reference Editor. You can even go straight to just Create Reference right here. So it's just File, Create Reference, boom. And I'm going to create a reference to Osri, which I have in course materials. Osri.ma, reference. There we go. Bring in the textures, all that jazz, and there we go. So it looks exactly the same, right? It looks exactly the same as what we saw. It's because it is the same file. It's just that we referenced it in. It's a lot safer to work this way, because like if you're animating and then you accidentally delete a control off your rig, like, my God, that's going to wreck you. So what you always need to be working in a file that is not just the straight up rig file. It's going to set you up for some bad times if you mess something up. But yeah, so now we have this character referenced in, and we can start animating her. This rig kind of performs slowly, so maybe if your computer's a bit slower, maybe don't use this one. Osri came in without textures. Press 6, Ricardo. Let me know if they come in, because a default scene starts with 5 shaded mode. Okay, got it. Nice. Yeah, so that's just 6 mode. Classic. Dude, yeah, that's always going to be a problem. You'll be like, why are these textures not working right? Oh, I'm not in texture mode, so it makes sense. That's a problem that's going to plague us till the end of time. Gets me too. It gets me too. Every once in a while, I'm like, I just forget. I'm like, ah, fuck, that's fine. So yeah, we have this character in here now, and exactly like the bouncing ball, you just select Controls S to set key. Move lower down the timeline. S, set key again. Boom. There you go. This is my animation. Very nice. Not the best. Not amazing. But it works. It's working. But we need to do a little bit more setup. A little bit more setup. Because I want you guys to bring in an environment, right? We're not going to make an environment. That'd be insane. There's no time to do that. Instead, we need to import an environment. And I want to show you guys a website for that. Turbo Squid. I included it in the email for the Zoom link of today's class. So if you're trying to find this, you could always go there, or you could just like bookmark turbosquid.com. Though I don't know how many of y'all meet Turbo Squid people after this. But what we can do is look for Maya models right here. And then we can change it to, yeah, and just look at all this stuff they have. They have like just straight up like medical anatomy models. They have like these really cool looking characters. So if you want to animate any of these characters, like a lot of them are paid for. Like look at these ones, Cartoon Family Rigged version 5. Like you get like 10 characters, but it's $800. I don't recommend that, guys. Don't don't put that much money into something like that, unless you were doing some sort of production or something like that. It's a lot of money to throw at it. So instead, what we're doing is going to price, putting in free. There we go. Now we're seeing the free section. They also they sneakily add these paid for ones in between them. But like you just need to scan for the free ones. Like this one's free. This like all these like different columns right here are free. But yeah, a lot of them are free though. Like every other one over here. I really wish they did. The website didn't used to be like this, where they have like the paid for ones in between. But that's fine. So we can turn off .ma as well. And let's see, where can we search? So we can search for, let's like kitchen. Let's search kitchen here. And you can see that this kitchen right here is free. This one right here, it looks really good. And in fact, it probably looks like too different from the art style of your character. So make sure that when you're searching for assets here, you can always find one that matches. This one's like a little bit lower poly, lower level of detail might work. Same with this one. As long as they're an FBX, you can import them at least. So look for FBX or .mb or .ma. Either one's gonna work. Let's see, what else can we do? Maybe fantasy environment. See that. And you can see a bunch of free ones in here. There's some low poly trees. Got like some mythical beast here. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. So just find one of these that you like. You'll have to sign up for the website with like an email. You can just use some trash email if you don't want to get spammed. They haven't emailed me really though, so I don't think they're too. Ooh, this one looks sick. Oh, nice little. Oh, whoops. Formats. See, this one's only for Blender. No, tragic. Let me go up here. Make sure I turn on formats. FBX. FBX is fine. .ma, .mb is fine right there. Just make sure you're sorting by format. And you can just bring in, you know, cozy room right here, old house, cliff house, like all this stuff. Like you can just bring that into our scene. And yeah, so that's one place to get the sort of like 3D models like this. You can also go to Unity Asset Store. This is more for games, but you can still import stuff from here. 3D assets. And there's a lot of like really high quality ones, you know, like, my God, this looks like something out of Final Fantasy. Let's look at free, you know, see what we got there. Get some starter kit for nature stuff. Make sure that it is, make sure in the details that it comes with FBXs, so you can import that. But yeah, there's a lot of nice stuff in here, guys. So you can do the Unity Asset Store as well. Let's see, I think Unreal has a marketplace as well. Let's see if they have any free stuff on there. Let's just go to browse. Let's do environments. And let's sort by free. Boom. So a bunch of things in here. So please, guys, whatever you're trying to animate, by all means, go dig through these and start pulling what you want. And once you get that whole package, you can just go to File, Import, and then you just bring that FBX into your scene. I'll just use one of my placeholder things. Unity. Sure, let's see this. It's hard to tell which one exactly. Sure, let's do this. Continue. So you can just bring those objects into your scene, move them around to whichever location you want, and you can start having a full scene in here. Obviously, there's just some random bits and stuff from the game I'm working on that I just kind of put in, but like you can just pull off any of these assets here and put them into your scene. Some of these packs might be a little bit deceiving. You'll have to see if like what's exactly included in there, because you need access to the FBXs, right? Because it probably comes with a lot of stuff to place it into Unreal Engine. Turbo Squid stuff works out of the box a lot easier when you download it. So yeah, definitely look through that stuff. But yeah, so once you get that going, let's I'm just going to duplicate this bad boy. I'm just gonna rotate it around, scale it up real quick, making some sort of environment. And yeah, it just comes down to going and duplicating them around. It'd be wise to make the apply the textures first if you have like some textured object that you're bringing into the scene, and you can just look at how we linked up our all of our what was it? All of our character textures for the textured character render. You can just see how we hook those up there. But yeah, and then you can move your character around in the scene. Animate them doing whatever action that you're gonna have them do. And that's pretty much it for the setup for the scene. The one last thing I'd say is when I'm working on a scene like this, I always, I'll frequently work in this kind of extra camera mode. Remember, you can just press space, you know, it'll pop up 4 different views. And I will create a camera, cam. That's just in the create menu with everything else. Create polygons, create lights, create camera, right here. We can move this around. And then in one of these panels, I'll just use this bottom left one. I can go to panel, perspective, camera, boom. And we have our camera right here, right? So it's good to have this sort of preview in here. This sort of preview of our end like shot, like what we're gonna get. Because you should always be animating to camera. Like if your legs are off screen, you don't really need to animate those, as long as like it's not affecting like the physics of it, you know, of how the character moves. But we have this camera in here, and we can just set up this shot any which way that we want. And I'm just rotating this camera. And like every other object, we can scale it up. And we can also set keys on it. Well, so I just keyed everything. And I can kind of craft whatever shot that I want in here. So if I move it over here, I can move it this way. So that's what's going on there. You can see it moving in 3 dimensions over here, but it doesn't update unless I click this little panel. You can see it. Oops. You can just go into this viewport right here. Get a nice. Not the best cinematography I've ever seen, guys, but you know, it's a start. It adds interest. So yeah. So this is that's pretty much it. That's it for today's lecture. I'll go over more animating actual characters next class. But I want to start seeing some animation, guys. I want to see some characters moving around. So please, by next class, have your environment like ready, and your character rig ready, because the rig is due next class. If you're doing the arm, you better have that turned in and have your character moving around, or have your character, like whichever rig you go with from Beachboard, have that in the scene. If you find a rig online that you want to use for any particular reason, like I found some sick like Zelda rig a year back that I need to dig through and find it again, but it's like from Breath of the Wild and it looks so good. I think there's like a link version as well too. So like if you find like a rig like that or something that you want to use, then let me know and I can check it out. But yeah, so that's it for today's lecture. I'll just be sticking around, helping you guys out with whatever.